Hi, my name is Michelle and I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. Today I wanted to clear up a few things about true intuitive eating. I think there are a lot of different intuitive eating systems out there, but they missed a few key points in my experience and the work I do with clients. So let's get started. So like I was saying, today is all about true intuitive eating. And I just want to preface this by saying a lot of us are not fully intuitive with the foods we're eating. And part of the reason is that we were not necessarily raised on whole foods. We were not in tune with nature. We are raised in a society that consumes a lot of processed foods that are not really coming from nature. And humans, we are part of nature. We interact with natural foods much better than processed foods. Even though we can create these things in labs and manipulate foods, it doesn't mean that it's the best thing for us. You know, nature is so complicated. There's so many facets to it. There's so many multiple reactions and synergistic qualities of foods that it's important to realize that we can't just mimic that in a lab. So when someone is eating intuitively, what I find is that we don't have self-awareness of we are craving something versus what our body is asking for. And so in order to have that awareness, we need to really know ourselves and not just follow our mind. It's part of us. And if a great way to tell if our mind is sort of running the show is that we're craving junk food or processed food, something that's not real. If our body is not craving an apple or, you know, a banana or spinach or something that is a real true food, then it's not coming from an intuitive place. It's more coming from an emotional or a coping place. And so I have a really great resource on what are you truly hungry for, and it helps distinguish between true hunger and sort of emotional hunger. And when we can really get down to we are feeling true hunger, we can start choosing foods from that place rather than an emotional hunger usually craves something that's going to stimulate us and make us feel good. The second thing I'm going to talk about is this concept of emotional foods. I don't believe in there's a food that feeds my emotions and then there's a food I eat for my body, or this is just an emotional food I'm eating. I really think that it suggests that we're disconnected, that a food is going to feed our emotion and sort of nourish it, which this food doesn't. The reality is that food is just going to distract us, make us feel good for a little bit, and it tastes good. It just tastes good. It has no real nourishing value or nutrient value. And that's okay. If you make a conscious choice of you're not feeling great, you're aware of it, you're having this food because it tastes really good, or you're feeling fine and you eat a food that's not going to nourish your body, just be conscious and aware of it, because that puts the power back in your hands rather than, you know, an emotion or a state in your body taking over. And I totally get it. You know, let's say a cookie or donuts or something, it tastes really good and you can choose to have it or not, but just make it a conscious choice. And finally, the third thing I want to clear up about intuitive eating is that when we become really clear on our emotions, and that refers back to the first point of distinguishing between, you know, sort of emotional eating or emotional hunger versus phantom hunger, which is emotional hunger, versus true hunger. And when we can start distinguishing between the two and actually looking at our emotions, feeling them, journaling, processing them, and coming to a place of clarity where we felt and processed the emotion, from that place, we'll start seeing what kind of foods we really do want. And because, you know, emotions and emotional processing, it takes nutrients from our body, it takes resources from our body, we will want particular whole foods to comfort us. It might be avocado with, it has fat. It's very comforting and satiating. It might be, something that's warm, but it's always going to be something that's more nourishing to our body. And that's what I call true comfort food. When we get to this place of really being with our emotions and just seeing what our body wants, what kind of foods that is going to nourish it. And that nourishes us on all levels as well, because it will nourish our body with nutrients. It will taste good. It will nourish us in that sort of intuitive, emotional sense. It'll fill us up. And, food is meant to make us feel good as well. But this won't be sort of the addictive feeling of feeling good where it is up and down, up and down. It's a steady feeling good. So I hope these points have helped clear up what intuitive eating is, or if you didn't know about it. But these are ways that you can start tuning into your body and becoming more in tune with the types of foods that'll nourish you. So if you have any comments, please let me know. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. And please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.